What's up, Don? How we doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. What's up, Joseph? Mike, Dave, Carol, Tracy, Ashley, Joey. Mary, Claude. What's up, Mary from the Ohio? What's up, Will? What up, Regina?
All right, 1 minute.
All right. Hey, did you get with the plumber dude yet?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I got the plumber guy with my previous problem. Now I got to work on my foundation
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't know if he gave you that info yet.
Here we go.
Yep.
Broadcasting to the Gumbo Nation for 6+ years.
Everybody come on, let's get down.
Providing education and options to listeners throughout the Gulf Coast and the nation. Mortgage Gumbo is brought to you live weekly by the Total Home Authority, Team Title, Tito's Homemade Vodka, TWFG Bidenkopf Insurance Group, The Fence King, 360 Home Inspection Services, and Bienvenue Plumbing. Mortgage Gumbo is the leading authority for all things home-related. So, let's spice up that bowl of mortgage awareness with the man who is high in mortgage knowledge, yet heightened hair challenged. The man who only knows how to put the client first. The true definition of a face for radio. The leader of the Gumbo Nation, Dwayne Stein.
What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995 or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Hey, this is the home show. This is where 6.5 years. We're rolling up on year 7 already, where we've been bringing you education and options when it comes to your most valuable asset, your home. And we have the greatest show ever planned for today. I know last week was, then the week before, but this year in 2021, I have promised that every single week to do the greatest show ever. And this week will not miss that. On the show today, you know, I deal with lots of realtors. I deal with lots of clients. And I'm amazed at just and this is the environment we're in. When you're in a low-rate environment like this, you get a lot of folks who, and not by on purpose, but they just don't know. They just don't know what they're doing, which is, hey, that's why this show has become so popular. That's why this show's become one of the most listened to shows in the Gulf Coast area on the weekend here in our market, right? And we've got a huge announcement next week we'll be making. So, but with that being said, that's why Mortgage Gumbo is here, because I understand that even people in the industry don't know everything. So we're going to cover, I put together almost like a cheat sheet for you. And, hey, even if you're an agent or a realtor or a broker and you kind of don't want to admit maybe you don't know something or maybe you're not up to date on what some of the things are, that's okay. Tons of the realtors that I work with me for one reason and one reason only, and I ask them, hey, you worry about the brick and mortar, let me handle the money aspect. So that's what I'm going to cover today. So it's okay if you don't know this. Now, for listeners, hey, if you're thinking about buying a house, hey, some of this stuff, maybe use it as a little bit of a quiz, right? If you're not using that aunt or that uncle or that distant cousin who became a realtor, maybe you could use some of this as a little bit of quiz. So we're going to talk about that on the show. Rates, hey, Powell spoke this week. The new president spoke this week. So I'm going to kind of give you some insight on that, where we see rates going and sort of what to expect as we move forward. And then I've got an incredible story. One of my managers, guy's been with me for as long as I can remember, 16 years, I believe now. And that's one of the things I could tell you when you work with Mortgage Gumbo. Hey, we're family. We got family working here. I've got the Mayer brothers. I mean, heck, I know the dad. He's like an uncle to me. So, I know all these folks so well, but we're like family. So, I'm so proud of this story that I'm going to share, and it lets you kind of know, when you're not in business, and every client is just a number to you because you're trying to hit some volume goal, which, listen, I don't know anybody that's a business owner or anybody that wakes up every day and says, let's go break even, right, people? You don't walk in and tell your boss, hey, today this one's on me, right? But when you make sure that the client comes first, you get stories like the one that I'm going to share with you today. I could not be more proud of my manager down in God's country, the parish, Claude the Mortgage Man Mayer. Follow him on Facebook as well. So great story there that I'm going to share. And I've got a couple great questions already that's already came in. So we'll talk about that. One of them is, hey, will 2021 become a buyer's market? That's a great question. So we'll get to that. But first, hey, let's talk a little bit let's go off the cuff. This is a realtor show. I mean, this is a mortgage show. It's a real estate show. It's your home show, right? But first and foremost, listen, I don't care who you are politically or whatever it is, and you boycott the NFL. For those of you who don't know what's going on, our beloved Saints are in the NFC divisional playoff round, okay? They are Dave, do we have any kind of like NFL music or football music or something like that? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but you're the best out there. Look at it. So even though there can't be many people in the dome, if any, friends, family, whatever, that's a whole different situation. I think the sun is setting on, in my opinion, probably the greatest free agent ever. And Drew, I'm sure you listen to the show. Feel free to call in if you want, or Kamara, any of you guys. Been a season ticket holder for 20-plus years. The least you could do. But anyway, look, Drew, if this is going to be his final season, look, this is a guy that has brought so much pride, so much joy, so much excitement to this city. One man. And I just want to make sure on air that I say, hey, thank you. Look, I'm not happy with, all the political stances and all that. I think athletes should do athlete things. Y'all don't come to me for, to hear what I think about how to fix a car, right? So, stick to what you know. But the sun's setting on probably the greatest free agent signing ever in the history of our game. And for all those people, the same naysayers who said, oh, Reggie Bush stinks, right? How many Super Bowls have we won without Reggie? Oh, Drew, he's getting old. He's getting that. This dude's going to go down as the number one greatest free agent signing ever. And the people that say, oh, Drew, he's no good. He should retire. You know who those people are? Those are the same people who you see trying to get into the Superdome, and they don't know that they need to clear bag, or they don't know they need a certain size purse, or they try to go in with, stuff that you're not supposed to be able to go in. That's who those people are, fair weather. And I can't stand fair weather people, whether it's a friend, no matter what it is. And, hey, look, I've got a show, so I just want to give my thanks to the Saints. And, if there's anything, hopefully we get this season behind us. We get some of this COVID stuff behind us. But, again, as long as I've been on air, my son was born in 06 when Drew came in. He knows nothing different than winning. So some of you may not, I'm 49 years old. It doesn't matter that I look 21. That has nothing to do with this story. But the fact is, we can remember some of that pain that we had before. Now, we got Sean Payton, and he's a guru and all that stuff. But with that being said, hey, I just think it's important to give a shout-out. And, look, for those who don't know, they playing tomorrow night, 5:30, 5:40, or whatever it is. Hey, check it out. I know you're mad at the NFL. So am I. But this is about home. This is about protecting home turf here. So, just wanted to give a shout-out there. Just got a text from the Saints saying, you are the greatest. We love Mortgage Gumbo. We listen all the time. Just kidding. So, all right. So, back to mortgages. Back to why so many, thousands and thousands every week listen to this show. We want to make sure that you are educated. We want to make sure that you are aware of your options when it comes to your most valuable asset, your home. And that's refinancing, and that's purchasing. Okay? So this week had somebody give me a call that went through a bank, that was going through a bank, affectionately known as a Smuckatelli, and they were putting them in an FHA program because of their credit score and because they didn't have down payment. But they didn't. This is why you have to go to snapsendandsave.com. Snapsendandsave.com. We are saving people hundreds a month, tens of thousands of dollars over the life of their loan, and really keeping people from screwing up their life, especially first-time home buyers, by buying the wrong program. Because they went to a place where, because they didn't have a rural development program, they were trying to throw them into an FHA program. And this was a young lady who just graduated from college, right, an x-ray technician, and the husband's got a nice job working for a finance company. So they didn't know no better. So 3.5% of $220,000 was going to be a lot of money for them. So you've got to make sure that you're working with somebody that is going to look out for you. Don't be closed in a box. You got to work with a correspondent lender, somebody like Mortgage Gumbo that has 40-plus investors that we can look at the different options for you. We say yes when others say no. You don't want to miss the show. Hang on. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995. Hey, that's awesome, Nathan. Robert, what's up, my brother? What up, Hurstel? How are you? Hey, we got folks hanging out with us on Periscope, Twitch, no YouTube, Mortgage Gumbo TV. What's happening? Sam the intern, who's no longer intern, hanging out.
What? What, you hired him legit?
Oh, man, I brought him on, dude.
Look at that. Way to go, Sammy.
He exceeded expectations. That's why he's
how
not
could the
doing
greatness not rub off on him when he was sitting next to you for so long?
Exactly. Well, and that's why I hired him, and he's no longer doing this because I keep him way too busy during the week.
Yeah, that's right. right, minute and a half.
All right.
Ten seconds.
Yep. Yeah, we hoo-datting it up. Big weekend. Hey, most of us are used to being here this weekend. So, hey, that's a good thing. Pace yourself. Got a big day coming tomorrow. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. This segment's brought to you by The Fence King. Visit FencedThisYard.com. 20 years experience, 170-plus 5-star Facebook and Google reviews. And I can tell you what, I'm another one. This week, got my fence put in over at my office at the mothership over in Mandeville. And let me tell you something. It looks absolutely amazing. And I can tell you, it wasn't easy, but his workers worked through. You know, when you start building a fence where there used to be a chain wall and all that, that's 30-plus years old, guess what? They took the time and made sure it was right. That's what you get. And you know what's awesome, too? I now got my tropical storm post in. So my roof might fly off, but you know what? My fence will still be there thanks to the Fence King. Visit FencedThisYard.com. His work always comes with a warranty. So, look, I need to brag on one of my guys, Claude the Mortgage Man Mayor. You can go follow him on Facebook. Fantastic. Love him. Been with me what seems like forever. He hates to admit that when he came in and interviewed with me, he was wearing white tube socks. But it is what it is. That's how I remember it, and it's my story. But, you know, one of the things that I could tell you about Claude and what we do over here at Mortgage Gumbo, and for so many thousands of you that we help, last year we talked over 2,500 through you listeners. I went back and looked at the numbers. More than 2,500 conversations were held last year. So, but Claude had a client, and it's absolutely amazing when you don't just look at somebody as a number and you actually listen to what their needs are, you hear what their goals are. But Claude yesterday, had a closing, and the reason why this one is special, listen, if you're a 720 plus, you got 20% down, we love you. We do. We love working with you. But sometimes these stories, and we've got those stories as well, but, you know, Claude had a client. They had been living in a one-bedroom apartment for the last 5 years. Had been turned down by everybody, lost jobs, Katrina lost things. I mean, just fighting uphill battle. And it's not just a husband and a wife. They had 4 kids. But then not just their 4 kids. Throw in their 2 nephews on top of that they brought in because of reasons I'm not going to get into. So you've got a couple with 6 children living in a one-bedroom house. And when they came to Claude months and months ago, I'm not sure on how long ago it was, their credit wasn't there, and they had been turned down by people who just said, you're not good enough. You don't fall into our box. So, but these people had the determination. They wanted to be homeowners. And Claude didn't stop at, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Claude put them on a program to get them where their credit score can get to qualifying. And as he was doing that, guess what? He stayed in touch with them. And then some opportunities came up on a new construction house down in St. Bernard. And yesterday, Claude took this husband and wife, the 4 kids, and the 2 nephews after the closing. And this just tells you about the character of these folks and their determination. They didn't tell any of these kids where they were going. And they put them all in the car, and they went over to the house. And I can tell you, it was an emotional video to watch, to hear the story, to know the story, because obviously I talked to Claude quite often, and I kind of knew what was going on. But the thing is here, is your lender, when you call somebody, is your instincts telling you that you're in the right place? Is your instincts telling you that this company, and they probably are, let's hope they are, but is your lender letting you know and making you, when you hang up the phone, say, you know what? They understand the needs, what we're looking for. They understand what our wants are, and I feel good about this. And that goes for your realtor as well. So if you don't get that vibe, don't make that mistake, because now we have one more homeowner who was told no by the Schmuckatellis out there, who nobody wanted to work with. And you know what? In a short period of time, we got them qualified, and last night, guess what? They got to sleep in a brand new house, in their own bedrooms. That's the difference. Instead of sleeping on air mattresses. You know, in this world, people think, oh, that kind of stuff still can't go on. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it doesn't make people bad. Everybody, and I've told you this since day one that this show's come on, everybody deserves the opportunity to be a homeowner. And that's what our goal is. And if we can't help you now, we'll look at the opportunity to help you down the road. So kudos to Claude the Mortgage Man Mayor. Hey, go follow him on Facebook. Great guy. Super proud of him. Him and his the home team, him and his wife, Heather, who's a realtor down there, is absolutely fantastic. Charitable. They do so much for the people down there and in the New Orleans metro area. Super proud of them, because it's more than just booking loans. It's how much impact can you make in your community. So super proud of him. For 16-plus years, we've been able to do that. So, hey, still to come on the show, we're going to be talking about just some things that you need to know when it comes to your home, whether that be how much seller pay closing costs. Do you need an inspection? You know, what type of things are needed based on certain programs? So I put together a cheat sheet for you. But I want to get to this question real quick that came over right as the show was starting. And it's, will 2021 become a buyer's market? In order to have a buyer's market, listeners, you have to make sure there's got to be inventory. You don't have to make sure of anything, I'm telling you. You have to have inventory. Right now, we have a surplus of buyers. I've got a list of them that are out looking about with my Total Home Authority realtors. But the inventory is not there. Inventory is not there. So when you're looking at that, you have to look at what those situations are. So, you know, right now or in the near future, there is not going to be any, in the foreseeable future, any type of buyer's market. Because you got low rates, so you've got everybody jumping in. So while that is a great question, I think it should be known that we're a long ways out from any type of buyer's market. And you know what? Hey, that's a good thing. Now, that leads me into, let's talk a little bit about forbearance. And you go, well, Dwayne, how are you going from, is this a buyer market to forbearance? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because all the numbers, and what do I teach y'all? Read between the headlines. right? So all you've been hearing about is forbearance declining, forbearance declining, forbearance declining. That is wins. But start reading the headlines now, saying about how are the forbearances going now. And the bottom line is this: it's dried up. And in my humble opinion, right now, you've got 5% of all mortgages. So that's 2.7 plus million mortgages out there, or in government or private sector COVID-related bailouts. So when you start seeing these numbers shrink, and some of you listening to the show, this may be you, or you know somebody, guess what? Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of who's really being affected by this. Right? Now we're going to start to see what I am concerned about is going to be, and I've been telling y'all since COVID happened last year, this is going to be a summer event of 2021. Because now we're going to have to see, how is this going to affect? Because out of this 5%, you're probably legitimately looking at folks who, the people who took forbearance as a mortgage holiday, they're fixed. They brought their loan current. They got out of the program. Maybe they did the 3-month. But what we're coming up to in March and in April, and that's why I'm keeping an eye on this for you. What we're coming up with now is, and you need to understand, a lot of these were 1-year forbearances, or they did them in 3-month increments. So what is it going to look like going forward? And the bottom line is, this CARES Act, we are looking at some things here that is going to be, at the end of March, some concerns. Because the investors, they're going to come knocking. And people go, is this a 0809? I get that question all the time. Absolutely not. It's not an 0809 because in 0809 it was fog a mirror, we give you a home. How much money do you make? $2,000. How much a month? How much money would you like to make? $10,000 a month? Cool. We'll use that to qualify you. We don't have that situation now. So a lot of these folks who can't pay their mortgage, who are in forbearance, the one thing they may have is equity. So what's going to happen if they cannot do a modification on their loan? If they can't get that job where they can still afford that house, well, you're looking at probably being forced to have to sell that home because you do have equity. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and I'll keep you up to date on that. But when you see these numbers, this 5% of mortgages, this is the nitty-gritty. These are the people, when we were up at 13, 16, 19% back in May, June, July, we were talking about, and every week it'd be 12% got off. Hey, this is the nitty-gritty. These are the people who truly are struggling. This is your restaurant workers. You know, this is your retail folks, your service industry. That's who's struggling here. On the other side of the break, we'll get into Rate Watch, doing some crazy things, and we still got some tips to give you on things you need to know when you're getting out there to purchase a home. Hey, visit snapsendandsave.com. Snapsendandsave.com. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995.
Blow the whistle. All right, 4 minutes.
All right. We'll do Rate Watch when I get back, brother.
Roger, Roger.
I got it. I'm good. Thank you, brother. Hey, Nathaniel, get with me, man. Look, if you want, go to snapsendandsave.com, dadcam. Click on the construction loan. Click on that. Sorry about that. Click on the construction loan part. Fill out that information, and I'll get with you early next week so we can chat about what some opportunities are. It's actually even better now than when it was last March when we had rolled it out. So, yeah, we're full blow, man. We're knocking it out with that. What up, Stephanie? How we doing? You man slaying them ducks this morning or what?
One minute. Ten seconds.
Who dat? Who dat? That's right, it's a Who Dat weekend. Don't care if you mad at the NFL, that's fine. Watch greatness tomorrow evening. The Saints take on Tom Brady. Two legends going at it. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Hey, if you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Just got a question here from Tracy over in Tangipahoa. What type of mortgage should I get? Wow. Okay, listen, Tracy, that is a gigantic question there that could go on and on and on. There's so many factors that go into what type of mortgage should you get. That's credit score. That's down payment. I'm assuming you're talking about a purchase. It depends on location, income. There's so many different things. So what I would tell you is, hey, awesome. Thank you for visiting info@mortgagegumbo.com. But also, go check out, you could sign up for our home buying webinar. Click on events if you go to mortgagegumbo.com, or go to snapsendandsave.com. Click on buying and fill out your information there, and I'll personally put together some options. We'll let you know what your buying power is. You literally spend 30 to 45 seconds on that site, and people are amazed that, oh, my God, I can't believe I heard from you. Yes. You hear from me personally, I will get with you and let you know what your options are. So far during the show already, we've got 5 snaps and saves have been filled out, and I'll make sure I get back to you. So, good question there, very broad, little too much to get into right now. Let's get into our weekly segment we like to call Ray Watch. Hey, Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. So let's knock rates out real quick. Last week was at 2.88. This week at 2.87. So flat. That's a 30-year conventional. 15-year, 2.40. Last week, 2.39, flat. FHA, 2.35. That's up from 2.28. Jumbo, 3.35. That's up from 3.27. 5-1 ARM was at 2.44. That's at 2.30. VA continues to be in the mid-2s. So let's discuss rates real quick because this, let's face it, this is why you come to this show. This is why you listen to me because, hopefully I'm a little bit entertained. It ain't because everybody says I got a face for radio. By the way, these T-shirts that I wear, hey, the one I got today, it's beard season. Somebody just asked me where I get it. Go to tshirtpoboy.com. You can order 1,000 or you can order one. Family, stuff like that, tshirtpoboy.com. So, but with that being said, hey, Jerome Powell spoke this week, okay? And he said, hey, he don't plan on moving rates. But again, now for my listeners who've been around for quite a while, you know that the federal funds rate, when Jerome Powell speaks, that has zero to do with mortgage rates, right? Because what he's talking about are short-term rates, right? He can't guess what the rate's going to be in 25 years. So he's talking about short-term rates. The federal funds rate, that's what they are lending between the banks. That's what that number is. So I want to make sure that we stay ahead of this for any new listeners when you're hearing this, okay? So let's kind of go to Biden speaking this week. Well, listen, if you listen to everything he said, minimum wage up to $15, right? Allegedly, these giveaway programs, $15,000 tax credits. So when you start looking at this, in mind, what do you hear? Well, hey, at $15 an hour, people are going to make more money, and he's going to have all these jobs are going to come about. Well, that's why, oddly enough, when he spoke the next couple days, you saw rates sort of spike, right? And this is why you need to be working with a lender that knows when to lock you and when not to lock you, okay? Because we've seen the spike in rates ever since Georgia got confirmed, and now, the House, the Senate, I guess all of Congress, from what you call it, all parties, and the president is all of the same party. So you've got to understand what that means. So when it starts coming to all these programs, what does that look like? So if they're thinking people are going to be back at work, right? Well, then rates are going to spike up, right? Because, hey, people are back at work. People are making money. They're not going to go up too much. Some of them are projecting 2.9 to 3.25 this year. Your rates right now today are 1% cheaper than what they were last year at this time when I was doing Mortgage Gumbo. So what you're seeing right now is this. It's FOMO, fear of missing out. So they're talking about nationally, hey, applications were down this week, 8%, but they're still 10% year over year up. Well, of course they are, because there's still one whole percentage base less. If I'm giving you 287, last year I was 387. We talked a couple weeks ago about how much that made a difference. It was almost $40,000 more in house you could afford with the same income this year. Hence why my question earlier is, hey, will we see a buyer's market? Not anytime soon. This is why you're seeing affordability. You're seeing pricing go up on houses and all those type of things. But what I need you to understand is this. If you are in your forever home right now, if you're in your forever home, and there's some different things that you want to do, you need to really be looking at refinancing. If you're in a house that's 5+ years you're going to be in, you need to look at refinancing so you could save money for that next move. And the FOMO is what people are having right now is the fear of missing out. That's why our refinance applications have barely slowed. They're right at what they were through COVID because you as the listeners are educated. So when you look at the rest of the country that's down, guess what? They don't have Mortgage Gumbo chatting with them every week. They don't have somewhere to go find out about what's going to happen. You have the inside info, so to speak. So what we discuss when people call and we have, and what my team's been trained on is we want to find out what your needs are. Spoke to a refinance this week. Could save the guy a couple $100 a month. But his daughter's in her final year of high school. And he can't tell me that that is his forever home. He doesn't think it is. So I advised him, man, stay where you're at. Because he doesn't want to have an investment property down the road. He's looking to retire. He's already put 2 other children through college. This is the last child. So they're living in a much larger house than need to. So he's looking at, hey, I may want to take advantage in a year or so about we own some land, about using your construction loan. Not a problem. So because I look out for you, the listener, I advised him, hey, stand your ground. Yeah, I know you got 3.5%, and I could get you to 2.6, but stand your ground. So that's where snapsendandsave.com is set up for y'all. So you can answer a few brief questions so when we call, we can put something together for you. Working with a she's 63, he's 59. Just bought a $500,000 house. Avid listener of the show. And this is where you need a financial, not a financial, that's Gregory Ricks' side, a mortgage advisor. They called me, $500,000 condo, put their 20% down. So in essence, they paid $100,000 for a $500,000 condo. But what we set up for them is this. They got aggressive and put it on a 15-year term. They're self-employed. So you know what we're redoing? We're refinancing them on a 30-year that's less than their 15, their rate, because they got this a couple years back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a reverse mortgage. In 3 years, we ran the numbers, and they're going to be able to get cash out on the reverse and not have any mortgage payment. So if you're 55 plus sitting in your house right now going, well, I don't really think I need a refinance, or, man, I could use some money. Well, it doesn't make sense. I've got 11 years left. Let's sit down and talk about what the options are. For them, a reverse made sense. So this person's going to live in a $500,000 condo for the rest of their life, and actually they put down $100,000, and they are going to, I'm going to give them $80,000 in 3 years. They're going to basically pay about $25,000 to $30,000 for a $500,000 condo. Does your lender look out for you that way? Does your lender saying, what are the next steps? That's what we want to make sure that you're getting done. Because I see it all the time. And it's not your job to know it. It's the person you go to's job to know it. But are they looking out for you? Especially first-time home buyers. And y'all are coming in droves. And I cannot wait to help you. I'm glad you're trusting Mortgage Gumbo. Parents, grandpas, grandmas, uncles, aunts, thank you for trusting in me and bringing them to Mortgage Gumbo. Dad Cam. Because we're going to make sure that you don't get off to the wrong start. Like the story I told earlier, where they're going to have to use up all their savings to get in a house when they didn't have to. And they're saving over $8,000. That's life-changing when you're 22 years old. $8,000 is life-changing. Hey, on the other side of the break, I got some tips for you to make sure that you know. Hey, quiz your realtor on them as well. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. I'm like, did you do the essential tips for buying a home?
Not yet, brother. We fired up about it, though.
All right, so we got 2 minutes. That'll give us about 8 minutes, okay?
Yep. Do we have
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I know we do. The Saints one, the popular one, man.
When the Saints go all the way. Yeah, I was gonna play that coming back.
Okay.
That's the one you're talking about, like the late go Saints all the way.
Yeah, I like
Saints
that's a
go
classic.
all
The
way.
other one is the other one I was thinking was the one they all were doing a dance to, like Chopper style.
Oh God,
Let's do
duh. You
Chopper.
know what? How do I not?
Let's do
Okay,
Chopper.
good call. Yeah, that's what I hate about not having a sports station anymore, man. Like Chopper used to come to the station and hang out with me on the show. I mean, oh God, it was so much fun. All right, 10 seconds.
I mean, if that don't fire you up, I don't care if you hate the NFL or not. That's a local boy doing local things. Little Chopper style there. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. One segment left, 504-260-0995. Hey, just a reminder, got the Saints playoff game tomorrow. So, 6+ years, education and options, and, you know, thousands upon thousands of y'all each single week listening in, several showtimes. Got a huge announcement next week that you do not want to miss. That's for sure. So, hey, go follow me on Facebook. Go to mortgagegumbo.com. Follow me there. Instagram, that Snapchat thing, Twitter, you name it, we're out there. That way you're always in the know. Hey, also join our Gumbo Nation Facebook group, our Gumbo Nation group as well. But so I wanted to kind of get with you on a few things before y'all head out this morning, and some of y'all are going out to look for some houses, okay? Number one, we've talked today about why it's not going to be a buyer's market anytime soon. That means it's a seller's market. So in layman's terms, what that means is seller has upper hand, okay? So what you need to know is this. You've got to make sure that you're working with a realtor that knows how to negotiate. And even more importantly, I could tell you, you could pretty much take the guesswork out of negotiations right now. What we're recommending to our buyers is this. Hey, offer full price. See if you can get some seller-paid closing costs. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's crazy on how many folks don't even know what that option is. It's crazy how many folks are out there writing contracts not knowing what FHA limits are, right? So I wanted to go over a couple different things for you. Number one, I want to make a point on this, okay? When it comes to inspections, listen, outside of VA, while we recommend them, we don't require them. So realtors, listeners, do not put in your contract. You can put inspection, period. That's fine. But don't put based on inspection results, this, that, and the other. No, That's an addendum that you can do later if you're going to negotiate something. But we don't want anything about inspections put into the contract outside of your realtor giving you certain time to get an inspection period. And you want to make sure that if they give you, usually the norm's 10 or 15 days for an inspection period, okay? Now, keep in mind, over at Mortgage Gumbo, we close our loans in under 20 days. That's including weekends. So when you're looking at this, I want you to understand, the longer you take to get those inspections, the longer it takes to close the loan. Because you don't, the other tip is this, don't start your appraisal until you've got your inspection signed off on. So in that contract, maybe that inspection period, hey, you got 10 days to get your inspection done. Number one, we've got the Total Home Authority. We can get an inspector out to you. We had a listener in Mississippi who the inspector said it was going to take, that inspector told him it was going to take him 2 weeks to get out there. We got somebody out there the next day. Right? The next day. And found out that the house was absolute dump and they were able to get out of the contract. So now they're out looking this weekend versus waiting 2 weeks for something. When it comes to mortgages, there has to be a sense of urgency. So that's when it comes to inspection. And make sure your response that you give them is a lot shorter. Don't go give them 5 days to respond. 99.9% of sellers either put lipstick on the pig before it was going to closing, or they know what's wrong with the house. So there shouldn't be many secrets that should pop up. Okay? The other important thing is this. Understand what kind of down payments you have. What are your options in regards to credit score? I'm helping someone this week build a VA construction home. VA construction, $480,000. Buying the lot, building the property. And they came to me because they were turned down because the place they went before, the schmuckatelli they went to before, had a different credit score requirement. So make sure, especially, listen, and I work with very loyal agents, very loyal, but make sure if that agent says, hey, call this person, make sure that that person knows what they're talking about. That's why I'm kind of giving you these questions. Quiz them, ask them. For instance, on a rural development, you know, we go down to 620. Most people are 640. Last year when rural development didn't have the money back, you know what we were doing? We were buying into loans ourselves. So people didn't have to sit. We probably did 10 or 15 loans that we took from other lenders because their lenders said, well, we got to wait on rural development to open back up. We bought into loans ourselves for the people because our guidelines are different. And we talk about it being a seller's market. That means offering full price. So let's get into this. You have to know this. Realtors, I'm begging you, know this, learn this. Hey, it will be, I will never mention your name. Shoot me an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com, and I will send you what I call my program cheat sheet for you. So you can keep it in your purse or in your wallet. And it's not your job to necessarily know everything, but these are things that haven't changed in a long time, and that is your seller-paid closing costs. $160,000 house that you get for $155,000, but you got to come up with $5,000 in seller pay and closing costs, takes you years upon years, 15, 20 years sometimes to make up that. Let's get the seller to pay that for you. So on a conventional loan, if you're putting down less than 10%, buyers, you get 3% that they can pay. 3% of your closing costs. That's on primary and second homes. How many of you out there maybe buying a second home and didn't know that you could get that? If it's 10 to 25% down, you get 6% on a conventional loan. 6%. And I've had agents go, well, the closing costs shouldn't cost that much. Well, I'll tell you what, agent, how about if we use that extra money to buy down the rate for our buyer and put them in an even better situation? Well, I never thought about that. We did. Ask for the max. 9% if you put down 25% or more. Investment properties, yes, even on investment properties, no matter how much down payment, you can get the seller to pay 2%. On FHA and RD, it's 6% of closing costs and prepaid. FHA, you have to have your own money. Now, it could be a gift, but closing costs can't go towards your down payment.
1 minute.
It could go towards everything else. And then last but not least, VA. VA, up to 4% max towards prepaid items. 4% for VA. Look, there's a lot more. We'll get to those. If you want some information on this, shoot me an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Listen, your home away from the show is mortgagegumbo.com.
30.
Want to know what you need to do? Do I qualify? Is it worth it? Should I refinance? Should I build? Snap, send, and save.com. Huge announcement next week. Till next week, let's get a hoot at and keep stirring the pot.